Hi there, I'm Rebecca and a really warm welcome back to my channel, PumpkinBecki. In this week's video we're visiting Doddington Place Gardens near Faversham in Kent. Let's go and explore. We're here on its first day of opening for the year, which is Easter Sunday, and it's possibly a little bit early for some things. A little bit late for others. The tulips are well and truly over, as are the daffodil and narcissi. But everything else is just starting to come into bloom. Lots of people have come here today specifically for an Easter egg hunt, but I think there is more beautiful treasures in this garden than Easter eggs. These amazing trees are called Sequoia gigantea. In England we call them Wellingtonia, but in America they call them Washingtonia. They were first introduced to England in about 1853, and these trees probably date from around that period. We're in the woodland garden now, which was developed in the 1960s after 3 acres of deep acid loam was discovered that's irrigated by underground springs. It's now home to collections of azaleas, rhododendrons, acers, camellias and many more. The sunlight coming through the fresh new growth of this maple is beautiful. It's the colour of autumn, but here in spring. We're both rather taken with this beautiful moss pathway that goes through the woodland. It's like the most perfectly clipped lawn you've ever seen. I thought we'd be too early for the azaleas and rhododendrons, but I guess I was wrong. The gardeners have been planting new varieties of magnolia throughout the woodland garden. Give these rhododendrons and azaleas another couple of weeks and they will be absolutely glorious. There's 1 mile of clipped yew hedging here at Doddington. It was planted just before the First World War. Then during the Second World War they were unable to maintain the formal clipping that they had done before. It was then decided to maintain the undulating amorphous shapes that had appeared in the hedging, rather than trying to clip it back to formality. And so we're left with this beautiful architectural framework to the garden. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tadpoles in this pool. The entire estate is 850 acres And in just this 10-acre gardens, over 60 trees were lost during the hurricane in 1987. Doddington Place house was built around 1860 for the Croft family, the makers of port and sherry. There was a formal terrace built in 1873, but the rest of the garden really began its life when Mrs. Douglas Jeffreys and her husband, General Douglas Jeffreys, bought the estate. The rock garden is constructed from Kentish ragstone, which was quarried from Maidstone just before the First World War. It's undergone extensive renovation and replanting, but retains the Edwardian structure. The series of descending ponds, which were also overhauled recently, are looking somewhat dry today. That's a pity. I'm sure it adds a little bit of magic to this area. The sunken garden is clearly a very popular space, with its formal pond in the centre. It was completely redesigned back in 2010, relaying out all the beds. Doddington welcomes thousands of visitors throughout the year, and I can see why. It really is a special place. The gentleman before us, as we were coming in through the entrance, said that he'd been here hundreds of times. And I can understand that. I imagine this place is ever-changing. It's a very relaxed style of garden. Even the formal areas are wonderfully dilapidated. The atmosphere here is almost like being in a London park on a hot day. People enjoying picnics, lying around on the grass terrace. It's not all about the planted areas for some people here. It's interesting. I can also recommend the tea room. We had a lovely lunch here. I hope you've enjoyed exploring Doddington Place gardens with me. I think this bit is possibly my favourite bit of the garden. Right, that's it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to rate, share and subscribe to me here on YouTube. And until next time, bye!